Hi guys, this is Ben from Boomer Road Trips, and this is what old Route 66 has in Ashford, Arizona. My goal for this video series was to capture our journey on historical Route 66 and to show what the route looked like in May 2021. I also tried to add a little historical information about various places along the route. I tried my best to do some research and get all of my facts correct, but please let me know if I missed something. We exited Interstate 40 from the west and headed into downtown Ashford. As you can see on this map, the original alignment of Route 66 went through Ashford on a single two-lane road known as Lewis Avenue. At some point in the history of Route 66, that was changed to two one-way streets. Lewis Avenue was the westbound part of Route 66, and Park Avenue was eastbound. An older alignment is now called Pine Avenue, which dead ends at the western end of town at the Ashford Route 66 Museum. That's where we headed first once we got into town. Ashford is known as the flagstone capital of the USA, as can be seen by a lot of the buildings in town, as well as the stacks of flagstone on both sides of Route 66 coming into town. We came from the west and immediately headed to the Ashford Route 66 Museum, located on an older alignment of Route 66, also called Pine Avenue, which dead ends at the Ashford Route 66 Museum and Historical Building. At the museum, there are several Burma Shave signs on the way and a painted Route 66 shield on the pavement. Unfortunately, the day we got there, the museum was closed and we weren't able to see inside. From the pictures I've seen, however, and what I've been told, the Route 66 Museum in Ashford is really a must-see to get a sense of the history and where buildings and businesses were along the Route 66 corridor through town. The building the museum is housed in is a historical Arizona Department of Transportation maintenance shop and dates back to 1922 when National Old Trails Highway was built. So that's actually before Route 66 was even commissioned. We headed back up Old Pine Avenue to the eastbound section of Route 66 called Park Avenue and headed that direction. Along the way, we saw a lot of old signs and buildings, like this old sign that read, Route 66 Oldies Auto Selling Service. It looks like it's been around a while, but the business seems to have been out of business for quite some time. We also passed this old building on the left, which was a 1903 general store. And a gas station on the right that's been out of business since the mid-50s. A little further up the road on the left, we came across the Oasis Lounge, which seems to be an old bar that's been around for a long time. That building is also made out of flagstone, which is quarried locally in the Ashford area. Everywhere you turned in Ashford, we saw lots of old buildings. We took pictures of several of them, and here are a couple samples. Shortly past the Oasis Lounge, we turned left on a side street and headed back to the westbound section of Route 66, Lewis Avenue. There we passed a couple of hotels that had been around since the early days of Route 66. The Copper State Hotel is still in business and originally featured a stone building with some rooms even having a garage attached to park your car. If you look closely, you'll also see that what is now the hotel office used to be an old standard gas station right there on the hotel property. Next door to the Copper State Hotel is the Highline Hotel, which appears to have fallen on hard times and is now closed. But again, looking at a postcard from 1946, you'll see that this hotel office also used to be a Shell gas station with the pumps right out by the street. I can just imagine cars traveling down the road and pulling off to fill up with gas on their way east or west. Many of the original buildings on Route 66 in Ashford were destroyed by fires in 1977 and again in 1987. But there are some buildings that remain. As we turn back onto Lewis Avenue and start heading west, up on the right is Zettler's Market, which recently has been opened up as a Zettler's Route 66 store. Beyond that are the remains of two original gas stations, a Union 76 station and a Texaco station, both on the right. The Texaco station was converted to a salon and barber shop, where the owner put an old Desoto automobile on the rooftop to garner attention. If you look closely at this vintage postcard, you'll see the 76 station on the right and the Texaco station just beyond it. Look closely under the awning of the 76 station and you'll see the Deluxe Cleaners building on the side street to the right. That building is now a pawn shop. Here's that clip again, just so you can see what it looks like today. Here's the 76 station now as it stands, and here's the pawn shop behind it on the side street. Here are a couple more views of the famous Desoto Salon, which used to be the Texaco station. On a Google Maps view from the satellite view, you can even see on the pavement where the gas pumps used to be located in the parking lot. Unfortunately, that's been paved over recently and smoothed out. This Desoto's Salon is now operating as an Airbnb, and you can see a link to it in the comments below. The building next to Desoto Salon used to be called the Green Door and served as some kind of a bar or cafe back in the day. Most recently, it seems to have served as an ice cream shop, but it's closed now. As you can see in this postcard, there's another original building just up the road and to the right. It used to be called the Arizona Cafe and Bar, but now it's being used as a church. It's the flagstone building on the right that we're passing now. Just past the church is an old vacant lot that used to be another Standard Oil gas station. And past that is a historical marker that marks the location where the Grand Harvey House Hotel used to stand, called the Hotel Escalante. After the first structure was destroyed in a fire in 1905, a new stone and concrete hotel was constructed in 1907. The Escalante Harvey House was in operation until 1948. It was demolished in the late 1960s, and nothing remains on the site today. This concludes our visit on Route 66 in Ashford, Arizona, and we're headed back to the interstate. While we were here, we saw a lot of old buildings and old signs, not necessarily the most popular destinations in Ashford, but a lot with historical significance and just fun to see what things really looked like back in the heyday of Route 66. You don't need to spend a ton of time in Ashford if you're going along and visiting locations along Route 66, but it is kind of a neat little town if you study the history before you get here. I wish that I had been able to visit the Ashford Route 66 Museum before coming here, because it gives you a good lay of the land and an understanding of where Route 66 was in town, where the Escalante Hotel was, what the main thoroughfare through town looked like in the heyday of Route 66. So if you get a chance to do that, I would really recommend it. But for now, we're done with this town on Route 66 and headed off to our next destination. So we'll see you in our next video. Thanks for watching. We've got a lot more of our Boomer road trip videos to share with you, and a lot more on Route 66 specifically. So please like our channel and subscribe if you'd like to be notified about upcoming videos. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you on our next video.